Skew lines. These highlighted edges would be an example of skew lines. There's other skew lines out there, but we've identified these two. What is it about skew lines? They do not intersect and they are not parallel either. Now, skew lines and parallel lines are not the same thing. Parallel lines are in the same plane. Skew lines are not on the same plane. So notice this plane. You could think of a plane like a sheet of paper. Here's a sheet of paper and there's this edge or this line on it. Here's this plane, like a sheet of paper. If you would draw these two lines, they would never intersect. They would never cross each other. Intersecting planes. The intersection of plane DCG, DCG. Now notice I use 3 points to name the plane. One way of thinking about it is, think of a sheet of paper that has those 3 points. So here's like a sheet of paper that has these 3 points. So this is the plane we're talking about, DCG. Then plane EAB, EAB. Think of a sheet of paper that contains those 3 points. It would be this sheet of paper, right? So this is the plane EAB. Now that you have identified the two planes, ask yourself, where do they intersect? Where do they touch? Where do they cross each other? Well, they don't. So we say it's the empty set. So saying empty set means there's no answer for that question, or that group of answers does not exist. In other words, there are no intersections between these two planes. Plane EAB. EAB. Now think of a sheet of paper that has those 3 points, and that would be the plane you're talking about. So we're talking about this plane. And this plane is perpendicular to line FG. There's a line that goes through here, FG. And how do we know it's perpendicular to this plane? Because there's a 90-degree angle. When the intersection creates a 90-degree angle, we say there's a perpendicular relationship. So 90 degrees and perpendicular go together. You have 90-degree angle, there's a perpendicular relationship. And if you have a perpendicular relationship, there's a 90-degree angle. What is the intersection of line AD? Line AD would be the line that goes through here. What is the intersection of this line, AD, and plane EFH? EFH. So that would be this plane that they're talking about. So plane EFH would be this plane. So what is the intersection between this line and this plane? Where do they cross each other? They don't. That's why we say the answer is the empty set. Right here we have the intersection of plane FEH, FEH, so they're talking about this plane, and plane DCG, DCG. So it's this plane intersecting with this plane. Where do they intersect? Where do they touch? Where do they cross? They cross along this line. So the intersection of two planes, these two planes here, is this line. So line HG is the intersection of plane FEH and plane DCG.